Welcome to Monk's Temple. Please, come in and settle. Whether you're sitting or lying down, let your body find a state of ease. Allow the rhythms of the day to fade into the background, and bring your gentle awareness to the simple act of breathing. In and out. There's nowhere you need to be, nothing you need to do, except to be present here, now. Today, we begin a journey into one of the most profound and practical teachings from the Buddhist tradition. A teaching that reveals the true, sustainable source of beauty. In our world, beauty is often framed as a commodity, a mask to be purchased and applied. We invest immense energy, time, and resources into adorning the outer self, while the inner landscape, the very source of our radiance, remains unattended. The Buddha, in his timeless wisdom, taught that the cultivation of metta, or loving kindness, carries with it 11 specific blessings. Among these is a powerful, visible effect. The enhancement of one's physical appearance. This is not a mystical promise, but a psychological and physiological reality. When the heart is softened by genuine kindness, the body, and particularly the face, responds. It relaxes. It brightens. It begins to reflect the serenity within. Think of your mind as the master artist of your face. Every thought is a brushstroke, every emotion is a shade of color. A mind habitually dipped in the pigments of anxiety, resentment, or self-criticism will paint a canvas marked by tension, hardness, and shadow. The brow furrows, the jaw sets, the eyes narrow. These are not mere expressions, they are, over time, etched into the very architecture of your features. Conversely, a mind that consistently returns to the palette of kindness, patience, and inner peace paints a radically different portrait. The brushstrokes become softer. The colors become warmer. The lines of the face begin to tell a story of openness, calm, and approachability. The Buddha's insight was that our inner world is not private. It is published daily on the pages of our countenance. Let me illustrate this with a story. Years ago, I spent time in a small mountain community. There was an elderly woman there, the village's unofficial gardener. Her hands were rough from soil, her skin weathered by decades of sun and wind. By conventional standards, hers was not a face one would call beautiful. Yet, people, especially children, were irresistibly drawn to her. One afternoon, I watched her. A young boy, frustrated and in tears after breaking a toy, ran to her. She didn't speak. She simply put down her trowel, sat on the ground beside him, and placed a single, freshly picked dandelion in his small hand. She smiled, her eyes crinkling into 1,000 gentle lines. In that moment, her entire being seemed to emit a soft light. Her weathered face was transformed into a masterpiece of compassion. Every line appeared as a record of 1,000 such silent kindnesses. That day, I understood, beauty is not the absence of lines, but the story they tell. Her face was beautiful because her heart was a garden. If this perspective, that true radiance is cultivated from within, speaks to you, I warmly invite you to subscribe to Monk's Temple. By subscribing, you are choosing to nurture this understanding. It is a simple act of commitment to your own inner growth and outer peace. This transformation is rooted in our very biology. Modern psychology and neuroscience now echo what the Buddha taught. When we harbor stress, anger, or hostility, our bodies enter a state of defensive alarm. The hormone cortisol floods our system. Chronic elevation of cortisol accelerates the breakdown of collagen, weakens skin's ability to repair, and promotes inflammation, leading to dullness, premature aging, and a perpetual look of strain. It is a biochemical recipe for internal and external wear. Loving-kindness practice works as the precise antidote. It activates the body's relaxation response, the parasympathetic nervous system. This triggers the release of oxytocin and endorphins, hormones associated with bonding, well-being, and healing. Circulation improves, delivering more oxygen and nutrients to skin cells. Muscles held in subconscious grimaces of worry or judgment begin to release. The face literally softens and brightens from the inside out. The Buddha, in essence, gave us the ultimate beauty regimen. The systematic cleansing of the mind from toxins of ill will, and the nourishing of it with the nutrients of goodwill. This is actionable self-help, framed within profound spiritual wisdom. Therefore, the path to a more radiant appearance does not begin with a new cream. It begins with a new thought. It starts by becoming the curator of your own inner gallery. Before we can project kindness outward, we must first direct it inward, to the one who often needs it most, yourself. The critical inner voice is the greatest vandal of your natural beauty. The practice of metta invites you to become a gentle guardian instead. I'm glad you've chosen to continue. Let's settle in again. Feel the support beneath you. Notice your breath, that faithful rhythm of life. In our last moments together, we established a foundational truth from the Buddha's wisdom, that our inner emotional and mental climate directly sculpts our outer appearance. A heart softened by loving kindness, or metta, fosters a physical presence of ease and radiance. Now, let's move from understanding to application. Let's explore how, starting today, you can become the gardener of that inner climate. The journey begins not with an ambitious gesture toward the world, but with a quiet, revolutionary turn inward. For most of us, the most frequent and damaging dialogue we engage in is the one we have with ourselves. We scrutinize, we critique, we compare, we admonish. This internal critic is like a harsh wind constantly beating against the delicate garden of your being, stunting growth and leaving everything tense and brittle. The Buddha's path of metta offers a shelter from this wind. It begins with the simple, yet profoundly transformative, practice of befriending yourself. Think of your mind as a home. For years, perhaps, you've allowed a hostile tenant to live rent-free in your most intimate space. This tenant, the voice of self-judgment, paces the halls, criticizing the decor, complaining about the structure, and declaring the entire place unworthy. The first step in the Buddha's method is not to violently evict this tenant, which often only gives it more power. Instead, it is to become the compassionate landlord. You open the door to a sunlit room you forgot existed, the room of self-kindness. You begin to spend time there. You learn its peace. Gradually, the hostile tenant's voice becomes a distant echo in a house that is increasingly filled with light and quiet acceptance. This shift in inner residence changes everything about how you present yourself to the world. A person at war with themselves carries that war on their face. A person who has found a truce, a friendship within, carries a peace that is unmistakably beautiful. I witnessed this transformation in a man I'll call Leo. Leo was a dedicated professional, a high achiever whose self-worth was tied inextricably to his performance. His internal dialogue was a relentless audit. When he first began visiting our community, his face was a study in controlled strain, a tight jaw, a permanent faint frown line between his brows, eyes that were sharp and assessing even in rest. He confessed he felt closed off and hard, and it showed. We spoke only of the first instruction of metta, directing goodwill toward oneself. His practice was absurdly simple. For 2 minutes each morning, before checking his phone, he would sit and mentally repeat, "May I be kind to myself today. May I be a friend to myself." That's all. He felt foolish. But he persisted. After several weeks, something subtle broke. He was in a meeting where he made a minor error in a presentation. The old script of immediate, brutal self-condemnation began to play in his head. But this time, a new, quieter voice interrupted. It simply said, "It's okay. You're learning." In that moment, he told me, he felt a physical sensation, a melting across his shoulders and around his eyes. Later, a colleague remarked, "You seem different lately. More approachable." Leo hadn't changed his diet, his exercise, or his skincare. He had changed the tone of the conversation in his mind. He had begun to be the compassionate landlord. The softening of his inner dialogue had initiated a softening of his living face. The lines of judgment began to relax, making way for the lines of understanding. This is the practical, psychological power of the Buddha's teaching in action. So, how do you start? You start with a pause. In a moment of self-criticism, perhaps when you look in the mirror and dislike what you see, you pause. You consciously interrupt the old, harsh narrative. You don't have to fabricate a false positive. You simply offer a neutral, kind alternative. Instead of, "I look tired and old," you might think, "This face has carried me through today. Thank you." It is a redirect. It is a gentle turning of the mind's rudder away from the stormy waters of judgment and toward the calmer seas of acknowledgement. This is the seed of metta. You water this seed not with grand declarations of self-love, which can feel empty, but with these small, consistent moments of ceasefire. The Buddha taught that all things arise from the mind. Your face, in its living, expressive form, is a culmination of countless mind moments. By choosing to seed your mind with moments of gentle self-acceptance, you are directly influencing the next evolution of your appearance. You are choosing the sculptor's tool. Each moment of internal kindness is like using a fine polishing cloth on stone, slowly wearing away the rough marks left by criticism and revealing a smoother, more luminous surface beneath. The biochemistry follows this mental command. The reduction of self-induced stress lowers cortisol. The feeling of safety and self-friendship boosts oxytocin. Your physiology aligns with your psychology to create an environment where your natural, healthy radiance can emerge. This is the crucial first step in the beauty secret the Buddha revealed. Before you can genuinely hold kindness for others, you must establish its residence within. A cup cannot fill another if it is itself empty and cracked. Self-directed metta is the act of repairing your own cup, of filling it with a clear, still water. From this place of inner abundance, kindness then naturally overflows to others, but the first beneficiary, the first face to be beautified by this practice, is your own. You meet your own reflection not as a critic, but as a compassionate witness to a human life unfolding. And in that shift of perspective, everything begins to change. I'm glad you're here. Let's take a breath together. A deep, cleansing breath in, and a slow, releasing breath out. In our last session, we planted the first and most crucial seed, turning the nutrient of kindness inward, toward ourselves. We began the practice of becoming our own compassionate witness. Now, let's gently explore what happens when that inner cup, once cracked and empty, starts to fill. What happens when the kindness we nurture within begins to naturally, almost effortlessly, overflow its banks and touch the world around us? According to the Buddha's framework, this outward movement is not a separate task, but the next organic pulse of a heart coming into balance. And it is in this outward flow that our beauty, our radiance, is not just polished, but actively magnified. Imagine your newfound inner kindness as a source of clear, warm light. For a while, you've been focusing that light inward, allowing it to heal and soothe your own hidden spaces. But light, by its very nature, expands. It seeks to illuminate. As your inner reservoir of goodwill grows, it will start to shine through you, through your eyes, through your smile, through the very energy you emit. This is where the psychological insight deepens. When you engage with the world from this place of internal abundance, you are no longer performing kindness as a duty. You are expressing it as an extension of your state of being. And this expression is profoundly beautifying. Consider the face of someone who gives reluctantly, from a place of depletion or obligation. The smile is tight, the eyes are distant. Now, picture the face of someone who gives from a genuine sense of connection and fullness, holding a door, offering a sincere compliment, listening with complete attention. The muscles involved are different. The entire visage softens, opens, and becomes receptive. This is the face in a state of psychological and physiological coherence. The Buddha's wisdom points to this. Acts of external kindness, when rooted in genuine internal metta, create a feedback loop of beauty. The action reinforces the inner state, and the inner state makes the action, and the face performing it, glow. Let me share a story about a woman named Anya, a former client in a field far removed from spiritual practice. She was a conflict resolution lawyer, trained in the architecture of argument. Her professional success was built on a foundation of strategic skepticism. While she had begun a personal metta practice to manage stress, she saw it as entirely separate from her work life, a private decompression tool. One day, she was assigned a particularly acrimonious case between two former business partners. The hatred was palpable. Preparation in the old way meant building a fortress of logic against the other side's anticipated attacks. But on this day, influenced by her morning meditation, she tried a different approach. Before drafting a single legal strategy, she sat for 5 minutes and practiced metta for the people on the other side of the case. Not to agree with them, not to surrender her client's position, but simply to acknowledge their shared humanity, their likely stress, their own tangled emotions. She mentally wished for their peace. From that shifted inner space, she began her work. In the first negotiation, her demeanor was different. She listened more. Her questions, while still sharp, lacked their former edge of contempt. She didn't react to provocations with matching heat. She simply reflected the facts from a place of calm clarity. The breakthrough came when the opposing lawyer, disarmed by her lack of hostility, made an uncharacteristic admission that helped clarify a key point. The case settled faster than anyone predicted. But the more profound change was in Anya herself. Colleagues remarked she seemed lighter, more powerful in a quiet way. A junior associate said, "You seemed so calm it made everyone else calm down." Anya realized her metta practice was not a retreat from the world, it was a new, more effective way of engaging with it. The constant tension that had lived between her eyebrows for a decade began to dissolve. Her face lost its defensive sharpness and gained an authoritative serenity. The outward flow of a more compassionate, strategic presence had literally reshaped her expression, making her appear both stronger and more approachable, a potent and beautiful combination. This is the actionable self-help principle within the Buddhist framework: your internal work must meet the external world to be complete. The kindness you cultivate in stillness is meant to be road-tested in motion. And each time you choose to engage from that place, whether by offering patient attention to a frustrating customer service representative, sending a silent wish for well-being to a difficult colleague, or simply making gentle eye contact with a stranger, you are performing a powerful act of self-beautification. You are telling your nervous system, the world is not a battlefield. I can meet it with openness. This signal allows the facial muscles of threat, the squinter, the scowler, the clencher, to permanently stand down. The face that remains is your true face, unguarded and radiant. The Buddha taught that clinging, aversion, and ignorance are the roots of suffering. In the context of our appearance, aversion to others, irritation, judgment, resentment, is a particularly potent toxin. It forces our face into masks of disapproval and disdain. The practice of directing metta outward, even in small, silent ways, is the direct antidote to this aversion. It is a mental and emotional detox. You are not responsible for fixing anyone, nor are you required to like everyone. You are simply choosing to not allow another person's negativity, or your own reactive judgment, to poison the inner well from which your own beauty springs. You protect your light by refusing to feed the shadows. Each time you succeed, you carve a new neural pathway, and with it, a new, softer line on your living face. So, begin small. Today, after this session, choose one interaction. Perhaps with a barista, a family member, or even while driving in traffic. Before engaging, take one conscious breath to reconnect with that inner reservoir of kindness. Then, let your interaction be filtered through that space. Notice if your smile comes more easily, if your tone is softer, if your eyes are more present. You are not being inauthentic. You are choosing which version of yourself, the reactive one or the centered one, gets to show up. And you are allowing that chosen self to sculpt your beauty, one gentle encounter at a time. Welcome back. Let's take a moment to anchor ourselves. Feel the gentle rise and fall of your chest. In and out. In our journey so far, we've moved from the inner sanctuary of self-kindness to the outer expression of a generous heart. We've seen how this flow from within to without is not just spiritually sound but psychologically transformative, actively reshaping our presence. Now, we must address the inevitable reality of this path, the obstacles. What happens when the well of kindness feels dry? When irritation is immediate, when resentment feels justified, when the face in the mirror seems to reflect only weariness? The Buddha's wisdom does not ask us to bypass these human experiences. Instead, it gives us a framework to meet them, and in that meeting, to find a deeper, more resilient beauty. To navigate this, I want to introduce a metaphor, the mountain lake. Imagine your true, inherent nature, your capacity for peace and clarity, as a deep, pristine mountain lake. This lake is always there, still and clear at its depths. The weather, however, is constantly changing on its surface. Storms of anger roll in, stirring up silt from the bottom. Winds of anxiety create choppy, frantic waves. The cold front of sadness can make the surface seem hard and frozen. Our habitual mistake is to believe we are the weather. We say, "I am angry," or "I am anxious," and our face becomes that storm, that wind, that ice. The practice of metta, rooted in the Buddha's teaching, is the practice of remembering the lake. It is the profound shift from identifying with the surface weather to knowing yourself as the deep, vast, and undisturbed water beneath it all. When you look in the mirror on a difficult day and see tension, shadows, or hardness, you are seeing the weather on the lake. The beauty secret is this: you do not have to change the weather by force. You cannot shout a storm into submission. But you can learn to sink beneath its turbulence. You can, through a breath, through a gentle mental phrase of kindness, submerge your awareness below the agitated surface and reconnect with the deep, calm water that is your essence. From that place, you observe the storm. You say, "There is anger here," instead of, "I am anger." This shift in perspective is everything. It is the difference between being flooded by a feeling and holding a feeling with spacious awareness. And this shift is visibly beautifying. A face contorted by being a storm is closed and distressed. A face that holds a storm with compassionate awareness is soft, receptive, and carries a dignity that no pleasant weather alone can provide. I learned this not from a book, but from observing a senior monk during a community crisis. Our peaceful routine was shattered by a series of external conflicts that brought legal threats and interpersonal strife into our gates. Fear and anger were infectious. You could see it on everyone's faces: tight lips, darting eyes, hunched shoulders. We felt like a pond full of startled fish. The senior monk, however, seemed to move through it all with a preternatural calm. His face was like a still point in a turning world. One evening, in a tense meeting, someone shouted an accusation directly at him. The room froze. I watched his face. There was a flicker, a human reaction, and then, something remarkable. He closed his eyes for a long breath. When he opened them, he wasn't suppressing anger, he had visibly moved to a deeper place within himself. He looked at the accuser not with defiance or fear, but with a profound, quiet compassion, as if seeing the man's own storm. He simply said, "I hear your pain. Thank you for sharing it." The energy in the room shifted instantly. His face in that moment was neither weak nor stern. It was luminously beautiful, a face that had become a clear lake, reflecting the chaos around it without being disturbed by it. That beauty was not of feature, but of profound psychological integration. So, how do we practice this when our own inner weather turns foul? It begins with recognition and a pause. You feel the heat of irritation rise in a traffic jam. Notice the story, "This idiot is ruining my day," and feel the corresponding clench in your jaw. This is the storm. Now, pause. Take one breath with the intention of sinking below. Mentally whisper, "May I be at peace with this moment." You are not approving of the traffic. You are tending to your own inner lake. You are choosing which level of your being you will inhabit. This simple act of interior relocation prevents the storm from etching itself permanently onto your face. It prevents the cortisol surge from tightening your skin and dulling your eyes. Over time, this practice doesn't just create moments of beauty, it cultivates a beauty of character, a face that has known storms but radiates the deep calm of the waters that weathered them. The Buddha taught that all phenomena are impermanent, anicca. This includes our difficult emotions. They are weather patterns. They arise, they dwell, they pass away. Our suffering comes from building a house on the storm and believing it is our permanent address. The metta practice, especially in challenging moments, is the gentle reminder to return to our true home, the vast, still lake. Each time we do this, we are not avoiding our humanity, we are embracing it at its most profound level. We are choosing resilience over reactivity. And a resilient face is a uniquely attractive face. It carries a history of survived storms with grace, not bitterness. Its lines are not just from squinting in anger, but from the gentle softening that comes after the rain has passed. This is the heart of our psychological insight wrapped in the Buddhist framework. Beauty is not the absence of difficulty on your face. It is the presence of a deep, unshakable peace behind your face, a peace that can hold difficulty without being shattered by it. Your task is not to create a perpetually sunny surface, but to cultivate such a profound depth that no surface weather can distort your fundamental radiance. Let's settle once more. Feel the gentle weight of your body, the quiet rhythm of your heart. In our last moments together, we navigated the storms, learning to find the still, deep lake beneath the surface weather of our emotions. From that place of depth, we can now observe something subtle yet profound, the silent, constant conversation between our inner state and our most habitual expressions. The Buddha's teaching on mindfulness, or sati, invites us to bring a gentle, non-judgmental awareness to this very conversation. To witness how our inner landscape scripts the micro-movements of our face. Today, we focus on one of the most eloquent speakers in this conversation, our eyes. Think of your eyes not just as organs of sight, but as windows. Not clean, clear panes of glass, but windows whose glass has a quality, frosted, stained, warped, or crystal clear, that is determined by the climate of the room within. That room is your mind. When the inner climate is one of judgment, anxiety, or guardedness, the glass of the eyes becomes clouded, distant, or hard. They may dart, they may glaze over, they may narrow. They transmit a signal of separation, of appraisal, of threat. Conversely, when the inner climate is one of the kindness and peace we've been cultivating, the glass clears. The gaze steadies, softens, and becomes receptive. It transmits a signal of connection, of presence, of safety. This is not something you can fake for long. The eyes are neurologically wired to betray the truth of the inner room. And here lies a powerful beautifying secret: by changing the climate within, you automatically change the quality of light that shines out through your windows. This is where mindfulness becomes an active agent of beauty. It is the practice of noticing how you are looking at the world. Are your eyes scavenging for threats, for flaws, for evidence to support a negative inner narrative? Or are they resting softly on what is before them, with a quality of acceptance? The Buddha taught that our perception shapes our reality. When you look at the world, and at your own reflection, through the frosted glass of criticism, you see a distorted, harsh reality reflected back. When you learn to look through the clear glass of metta, you begin to see the inherent dignity, the latent beauty, in what you behold. And this shift in perception softens the very muscles around your eyes, easing the squint of suspicion and opening the gaze to a warmer, more luminous presence. I saw this transformation unfold in a man named David, a photographer who came to our retreat burnt out. He made his living capturing high-stakes corporate events and portraits, a world of perfect lighting and forced smiles. He was a master of technical detail, but he confessed he felt a growing emptiness, a cynicism. "I only see flaws," he said. "I see the fake smile, the insecurity behind the power suit. My job feels like documenting masks." His own eyes, even in conversation, had a sharp, assessing, and weary quality. He was always looking at people, not seeing them. His practice began not with his camera, but with his own eyes. For 10 minutes each day, he would sit and practice a simple meditation, softening his gaze on a single, natural object, a leaf, a stone, a candle flame. The instruction was not to analyze it, but to receive it. To let his eyes rest, to allow his perception to become generous, to see the object as it was, without judgment. He then began to integrate this into his work. Before lifting his camera at an event, he would take 30 seconds to soften his own gaze, to consciously wish for the well-being of the people in the room. He stopped looking for the perfect shot and started waiting for the true moment. The change was gradual but revolutionary. He began to capture portraits that were unlike his previous work. They weren't just technically perfect. They were alive, revealing a vulnerability or a genuine spark in his subjects that he had previously missed. His clients were astounded, saying he had a magic touch. But the real magic was in David himself. The chronic, weary sharpness in his own eyes melted away. His gaze became patient, deep, and kind. He said, "I realized my camera was just an extension of my perception. When I looked with a kinder heart, my lens found a kinder beauty." His entire face changed. The lines of constant critical focus relaxed, and his eyes, now windows to a more compassionate inner room, made his whole countenance remarkably more attractive and trustworthy. He had used the Buddha's tool of mindful perception to beautify both his art and his own being. This is the actionable insight: your gaze is a beautifying tool. You can consciously choose to let it soften. Right now, as you listen, notice if there is any tension around your own eyes. Are you frowning slightly in concentration? Gently allow those tiny muscles to release. Let your gaze, even if your eyes are closed, take on a quality of inner softness. This simple physical relaxation sends a direct signal to the amygdala, the brain's fear center, that all is well. It begins to calm the inner climate. It is a feedback loop: a soft gaze calms the mind, and a calm mind allows for a softer gaze. This loop is a fountain of youth for the spirit, and it shows unmistakably on the face. The Buddha often spoke of the brightly shining mind, a mind that is naturally pure, clear, and radiant. Afflictive emotions, he taught, are visitors that temporarily obscure this brightness. The practice of mindful, kind perception is like patiently cleaning the window of your own consciousness. Each time you choose to look with gentleness instead of judgment, you wipe away a layer of dust. Each time you meet a challenging person or situation with a conscious intention to see with clarity and not with aversion, you clear a streak on the glass. Over time, the innate brightness of your mind shines through more and more, and it shines directly through your eyes. This is what people perceive as a twinkle, a depth, a warmth. It is not a trick of the light, it is the light of your own aware, kind-hearted consciousness, unobstructed. So today, practice being the guardian of your gaze. In conversations, Notice if you are truly seeing the person in front of you, or just waiting for your turn to speak. When you look in the mirror, try for just 3 seconds to look with the eyes of a friend, not a critic. See the being there, not the flaws. This is not denying reality, it is choosing the most nourishing, beautifying layer of perception available to you. You are, through your own eyes, choosing the light by which you see your world and are seen by it. Let's find our center again. Feel the breath moving through you, a quiet tide. So far, we've journeyed from the inner sanctuary of the heart to the expressiveness of the eyes. We've seen how the climate within reshapes the windows through which we view and are viewed. Now, let's give voice to this inner transformation. Let's explore the sound of beauty. The Buddha's teachings on right speech are not merely ethical guidelines, they are, perhaps unexpectedly, a masterclass in cultivating an attractive, resonant, and deeply beautiful presence. For the voice is not just a tool for communication. It is a living barometer of the heart. Its tone, its timbre, its pace, they all broadcast the weather within the mountain lake we've come to know. Consider this, you can hear a smile. Even over the phone, without seeing a face, you can perceive kindness, tension, irritation, or warmth in a voice. This is because your vocal cords, your throat, your breath are intimately connected to your nervous system. When you speak from a place of inner agitation, your voice tightens. It may rise in pitch, speed up, or develop a hard, metallic edge. It is the sound of the surface storm. When you speak from that deeper place of inner stillness and goodwill, your voice naturally finds a lower, slower, more resonant register. It carries the calm depth of the lake. This vocal quality is inherently soothing, attractive, and beautiful. It draws people in. The Buddha's wisdom on right speech, to speak words that are true, kind, necessary, and timely, is thus a practical prescription for vocal beauty. It asks us to filter our words through the heart of metta before they become sound, ensuring that what emerges is not just pleasant to the ear, but nourishing to the spirit, and to our own countenance. Think of your voice as a violin. A violin played with a tense, jagged bow produces a screeching, discordant sound. The instrument itself vibrates with harsh, unpleasant frequencies. But the same violin, played with a bow guided by relaxed, purposeful grace, produces notes that are rich, warm, and stirring. Your mind is the musician. Your heart is the guidance for the bow. Angry, anxious, or unkind thoughts are the tense, jagged strokes. They create a vocal screech that not only affects the listener but sends jarring, stressful vibrations through your own body, tightening your throat, straining your facial muscles, and etching stress into your expression. Conversely, thoughts tempered by patience and kindness guide the bow with grace. The resulting voice is music. It vibrates through you in a harmonious way, massaging your vocal cords, relaxing your jaw, and promoting a state of calm that reflects as serenity on your face. Speaking with kindness is, quite literally, a beautifying facial massage. I witnessed this principle reshape a woman named Clara. She was a teacher, passionate and knowledgeable, but perpetually frustrated by her students' inattention. She felt she was shouting into a void. Her teaching voice had become loud, strident, and sharp, a voice of battle, not of connection. It exhausted her, and her face showed it, thin, pressed lips and a permanently strained neck. On a friend's suggestion, She began to incorporate a minute of silent metta before each class, specifically wishing for her students' ease and understanding. She didn't change her lesson plans. She simply changed the inner source from which her speech would flow. The first week was an internal struggle. But she focused on one aspect of right speech, timeliness. Instead of reacting instantly to interruptions, she would take a slow, silent breath, reconnect with her wish for their well-being, and then respond. Her voice, emerging from that paused, intentional space, began to change. The sharp edge softened. The volume lowered, but its carrying power increased because it was now underpinned by calm authority rather than frantic energy. A remarkable thing happened: the classroom grew quieter. Students began to lean in to listen. They responded not to a shout, but to a resonant, attentive presence. Clara told me, "I used to leave school with a headache and a sore throat. Now, I leave feeling clear. My jaw doesn't ache." The chronic tension lines around her mouth began to smooth. Her face opened up. She had discovered that by beautifying her speech at its source, her intention, she had beautified her sound, her impact, and ultimately, her own physical expression. Her voice became the sound of her inner metta, and it transformed her entire presence. This is the psychological insight made practical: your voice is a direct channel for your inner state. You cannot fake a calm, kind voice for long if your mind is a riot. Therefore, the path to a beautiful, resonant voice is the same as the path to a calm, kind mind. It begins with the pause. Before you speak, especially in moments of potential reaction, insert a heartbeat of silence. In that pause, check the inner climate. Are you speaking from the stormy surface or the deep lake? Let that moment of awareness guide not just your words, but the very tone with which you deliver them. This practice does more than improve communication. It is a profound act of self-care. It prevents you from involuntarily tensing dozens of small muscles in your face and neck, the chronic tension that leads to a pinched, strained, and aged appearance. The Buddha taught that speech is a powerful karmic force, shaping our reality and our relationships. In the context of our exploration, consider it also a powerful beautifying or debeautifying force. Harsh speech is a toxin you brew and drink yourself, first. It contracts your features. Gentle, truthful, necessary speech is an elixir. It relaxes and opens your features. Each time you choose words filtered through the heart, you are not just being virtuous, you are performing a subtle, ongoing facial therapy. You are telling the muscles of expression, it is safe to be soft here. So, today, practice hearing your own voice. Listen to its quality when you're rushed, versus when you're speaking to someone you deeply love. Notice the physical sensations in your face and throat that accompany each tone. Then, choose one conversation to approach as a mindfulness practice. Let your primary goal be to speak from that deep lake place. Observe not just the reaction of the other person, but the feeling in your own body and the sense of your own expression. You may find your face feels more open, your smile comes more readily, your eyes engage more softly. You are discovering that a beautiful voice doesn't just sound lovely, it actively helps create a lovely face from which to speak. Let's take a seat within the quiet. Feel the space between your breaths. Thus far, our journey has moved through the inner chambers of the heart, the clarity of the gaze, and the resonance of the voice. We have gathered tools, the pause, the softening, the intentional wish. Now, we arrive at the art of integration. How does this practice cease to be a separate activity and become the very texture of your daily life? And what is the cumulative effect on your being, on the beauty that you carry? The Buddha's Noble Eightfold Path is often depicted not as a ladder, but as a wheel, with all spokes supporting each other simultaneously. In the same way, the beauty born of metta is not a single feature you add, but a harmony that emerges when all aspects of your life begin to gently align with a compassionate center. Imagine a tapestry. For years, perhaps, you have been weaving with threads of many colors, bright threads of joy, but also dark threads of worry, stiff threads of obligation, and brittle threads of self-judgment. The overall pattern may feel chaotic, discordant. The practice of integrating loving kindness into your daily flow is the process of becoming the conscious weaver. You begin to choose, moment by moment, which thread to pick up next. You don't rip out the dark threads, they are part of the story, but you no longer let them dominate the pattern. You consciously introduce more of the soft, strong, luminous thread of mindful kindness. You weave it into your morning routine, into your commute, into your work tasks, into your moments of rest. Over time, the entire tapestry changes. The pattern becomes more cohesive, more beautiful, more reflective of a conscious design. And this integrated tapestry? It is your living face, your presence in the world. Its beauty is not a veneer, it is the revealed pattern of a life intentionally woven with care. This is where practice becomes presence. It's in the micro-moments, choosing the kinder thought in traffic, offering a genuine thank you to a cashier while really seeing them, taking 3 conscious breaths before answering a demanding email. Each of these is a stitch with the golden thread. The psychological effect is cumulative neural rewiring, what scientists call neuroplasticity. You are literally building new, default pathways of calm, empathetic response. The physiological effect is a body, and a face, that lives more consistently in a state of relaxed alertness rather than defensive tension. The Buddha's teaching on mindfulness, or sati, is the loom on which this weaving happens. It is the sustained awareness that allows you to see the next thread and choose it wisely. I saw this integration embodied in a man named Ben, a retired engineer who began visiting our garden. He was a fixer, used to solving problems with logic and force. Retirement left him feeling useless, adrift. His face had settled into a look of purposeless sternness. He started coming simply to sit, to be around a different rhythm. One day, noticing some struggling seedlings, he asked if he could tend to them. It was a small, practical task. But he approached it with his engineer's mind, researching their needs. However, we gently suggested he also try just sitting with them each day, not doing anything, just offering them his quiet, friendly attention. A form of metta for the plants. He was skeptical but consistent. Every morning, he would water them, then sit for 5 minutes in silence, simply wishing them well. This tiny ritual became the golden thread he wove into his day. From that anchored point of quiet care, other threads began to change. He started greeting other visitors with less gruffness, noticing their stories. He began listening to his wife with more patience, not just solving her stated problems but hearing her feelings. He wasn't trying to be a kind person. He was simply extending the quality of attention he gave his seedlings, curious, patient, benevolent, outward. Over months, the sternness in his face completely dissolved. It was replaced by a look of quiet, engaged contentment. His eyes sparkled when he talked about his plants. The deep frown line softened. He had woven a practice of silent kindness into the fabric of his days, and that fabric now clothed him in a serene, attractive grace that was far more powerful than his previous sternness. His beauty was the beauty of integrated purpose. So, how do you begin this weaving? Start with one daily anchor. Choose one routine activity, making your morning tea, brushing your teeth, walking to your car, and sanctify it as your weaving time. For those 2 minutes, let your full attention be there. As you do it, hold a simple intention of kindness, either for yourself or for all who will cross your path. This is you picking up the golden thread. Throughout your day, use your breath as a shuttle to carry that thread into the next moment. When stress arises, breathe and remember your anchor. This isn't about achieving perfection, but about continuity. A tapestry woven with consistent, gentle effort is far more beautiful and strong than one attempted in frantic, perfect bursts. The Buddha taught the principle of karma, intentional action. Every intentional thought, word, and deed is a seed. Integration means you become a mindful gardener in the field of your own life, planting more seeds of kindly awareness and nurturing them with your attention. The harvest of this gardening is not just a better life, but a more beautiful face. A face that has been regularly visited by kind thoughts is a face that knows how to relax. A voice regularly used for truthful, gentle speech shapes a mouth prone to smiles rather than scowls. Eyes that have practiced seeing with compassion lose their hardness and gain a receptive shine. This is the cumulative, indelible beauty. It's the beauty of a life where inner and outer are no longer at war, but in a gentle, respectful dialogue. This integrated beauty carries a quality of authenticity that is magnetic. It cannot be counterfeited because it is earned through 10,000 small choices. It is the face of someone who is no longer fighting themselves or the world, but who is participating with a compassionate awareness. That participation is the ultimate glow. It's the light from the clear lake, shining through the clear window, carried on the resonant voice, reflected in the woven tapestry of a mindful life. Welcome. Let us settle into this final shared stillness. There is no need to grasp, no need to reach. Simply be here, in the gentle aftermath of our exploration. We have journeyed from the secret inner chamber of the heart, through the open window of the eyes, across the resonant bridge of the voice, and into the woven tapestry of daily life. We have gathered the tools of pause, of softness, of intentional wishing. Now, we arrive at the destination that was here all along. The understanding that the beauty cultivated through metta is not a temporary condition, but a timeless quality of being. It is not opposed to aging, to change, to the lines that life will inevitably impart. Instead, it is the very light that makes those lines meaningful, that transforms a map of experience into a portrait of a soul. This is the ultimate psychological insight within the Buddha's framework. The most profound beauty is not a defiance of impermanence, but a deep harmony with it. Consider the beauty of an ancient tree. Its bark is gnarled, its branches are asymmetrical, it bears the scars of storms and seasons. Yet, we find it majestic, beautiful beyond words. Why? Because its form is an honest record of its life. It has weathered. It has persisted. It offers shade, shelter, and a quiet, steadfast presence. This is the beauty of a face that has been lived in with kindness. The lines are not flaws to be erased. They are the rings of the tree, each one marking a year of growth, of feeling, of survival. A face nurtured by loving kindness wears its lines differently. Crow's feet become traces of laughter remembered, not just sun squints. Lines around the mouth become grooves of compassion from years of speaking and listening with care. A furrowed brow, if it softens in repose, tells of deep thought and concern, not perpetual anger. This is beauty that transcends the youthful beauty of the garden of the skin. It is the beauty of the heart's garden becoming visible through the very architecture of time. The Buddha's teaching on anicca, impermanence, liberates us here. We are freed from the hopeless fight to preserve the surface. We are invited instead to invest in the quality of the soul that shines through that changing surface. I want to leave you with a final image, a memory of my first teacher's hands. They were old hands, thin-skinned, mapped with blue veins and prominent bones. They shook slightly. And yet, they were the most beautiful hands I have ever seen. Because of how they moved. They moved with a profound, economical gentleness. Whether lifting a teacup, turning a page, or offering a blessing, there was no wasted motion, no harshness, only a flowing, respectful precision. Those hands had washed the sick, folded prayers, planted seeds, and comforted the grieving for 7 decades. Their beauty was not in their form, but in their function, in the lifetime of kindness they had expressed. Their very shape had been sculpted by that function. In the same way, a face shaped by a lifetime of inner kindness, of gentle thoughts, soft gazes, truthful speech, becomes beautiful in its function. It functions as a space of peace. It functions as a reflection of understanding. It functions as an invitation to others to put down their guard. That functional beauty only deepens with time. So, what do you carry forward from our time together? You carry a simple, profound reframing. You are not a static portrait to be restored, but a living landscape being shaped by the climate of your own heart. Your daily practice is the stewardship of that climate. When you feel the old winds of criticism rise, you now know how to sink beneath them to the deep lake. When you look in the mirror, you can choose to see not a critic's checklist, but a fellow being on a journey, worthy of a friend's gentle gaze. When you speak, you can remember that your voice is an instrument, and kindness is the melody that beautifies both the player and the listener. Let's close with a brief guided reflection, to weave these threads into a takeaway piece. Guided reflection. Settle comfortably. Allow your eyes to close softly. Bring your awareness to your heart center, simply feeling the rhythm there. Now, gently bring to mind your own face, not as an image, but as a feeling, a presence. Sense the space of your forehead, and consciously invite any tension there to soften and melt away. Feel the area around your eyes, and allow those tiny muscles to release, letting the gaze behind your eyelids become infinitely gentle. Be aware of your cheeks, your jaw, invite a sensation of heaviness, of release. Letting go of any held expression. Now, bring a single, simple wish from your heart to this resting face. Silently, gently, offer this wish: may this face be a peaceful face. May it be a kind face. May it reflect the goodness within. Feel that wish as a warm, soothing light, bathing your features from the inside. Now, imagine this light, this quality of peaceful kindness, not as a mask you wear, but as a radiance that emerges from your very core. From the clear mountain lake of your deepest nature. See it shining through your eyes, softening your expression, relaxing your entire being. Know that this is not something to create, but something to allow. By tending the heart, you allow this light to shine through. Hold this feeling for a few more breaths. And when you are ready, gently bring your awareness back to the room, carrying this feeling of integrated, timeless beauty with you. The practice is the path. The beauty is the natural flowering. You need not seek it outside. You simply cultivate the inner conditions for it to bloom. And as it does, it will transform not only how you look, but how you see, how you are seen, and how you move through this world. Thank you for walking this path with me. May the peace and kindness you cultivate within radiate from you, today and always.